Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Vibrant Soul Tarot and I'm super excited to have you here today. Today's pick a card reading, we are asking, what do you need to hear most right now? So what messages or message is most importantly trying to reach you or find you at this time? So we have these three piles to choose from. Pile number one, starting right here, we have the New Moon Tarot deck along with this citrine wand. Pile number two, we have the Lunasomnia Tarot deck along with this Obsidian Tower. And then for pile three, we have the Mystic Mondays Tarot along with this Aura Quartz Point. So please take your time in choosing your pile. If you need more time, you're more than welcome to pause the video here. When you do have your pile selected, I will post the timestamps for each one in the description box below for your convenience, and I will see you guys at your reading. Also, if you are drawn to multiple piles, that's perfectly okay as well too. Just means that you may have multiple different messages you're meant to hear right now, or maybe some of the messages are even connected or intertwined together. Sometimes it works that way. It's very interesting, but yeah, so no pressure in picking your pile. Whatever one you feel is most likely for you is for you. And I will see you guys at your reading. Bye! Hi pile one, and welcome to your reading. If you chose the New Moon Tarot or if you chose the Citrine Wand, then welcome. These are your messages. So today we are asking, what do you need to hear most right now at this time? What messages or message is meant to find you? So I'm going to ask Spirit here to please tune me in to my pile one's energy, please. Please tune me into what it is that they need to hear and offer them the most clearest guidance and clarity at this time as well. Thank you. So we are going to use your tarot in a bit to clarify these oracles that I have already pulled. So let's go ahead and see what cards we have for you. So the first card we have is the 11th house with community. The next card we have is transits with climate. The next card we have is judge. I'm trying to fit these in there. Let's move this and then we'll have more room. Okay, the next card we have is all in the golden afternoon. And then we have the influencer. Wow. Okay. I feel like the first message that you need to hear right now is that you are, or you are soon going to be in an energy where you are attracting a lot of attention, whether that is through a creative pursuit or just naturally in your life at this time. I feel like you're going to be entering, or you are entering an energy that you are very magnetic. Now, I do feel like the main message here with this influencer and this 11th house kind of coming together, these kind of can have the same energy, since the 11th house can rule the collective and your friend groups and you know, a lot of people. It can also, I'm hearing worldwide as well too. That doesn't have to resonate for you, but because in contrast, the third house represents like a small knit community, whereas the 11th house represents a big collective community. So I feel like this is about you having influence on a lot of people. And so there is a message here as well to trust in your own judgment, trust in your own guidance, because I feel like what you're going to be doing and what you're going to be saying and things like that aren't really based off what other people do and what other people say. And I say this too because I feel like you are going to be entering a time where you have a lot of inspiration or creative, like there's some sort of creative spark here, or just you know, an up. So if you have been down, because we do have climates here too, if you have been feeling down or you're feeling like things aren't working out for you, it is going to come up again, because the climate in the transits in astrology are all about change. The planets are transitioning, you know. And so with this transition, I feel like you're being guided to remember that your authentic self and your authentic perspective is really what's needed most at this time for you and for the people that you are going to be influencing. I do feel like there is a need to kind of surrender and allow yourself to flow freely with whatever it is, like to kind of give yourself that creative freedom here with whatever it is that you are creating, which is just whether that could be a completely new life, that could be your manifestations, whatever the case is, whether this is like a romantic relationship. I mean, that could be the case. I'm not getting that mostly. I feel like this is mostly about you. And also, I feel like with this judge here, there is an energy, speaking of that, like actually on the term of romantic relationships, with this kind of magnetic, attractive energy that you're going to be having, it's very important for you to use your discernment on who and what you allow in your energy. What are you going to be feeding? What are you going to be starving? It all depends on what it is that you are wanting to create, and then you can even think of that as the life you want to create, give to the things that are going to help you flourish and starve the things that are holding you back at this time. So now with that being said, I do feel with this all in a golden afternoon, it says imagination and conception. So yeah, this is about things that you've been wanting and imagining or trying to manifest coming in to your reality. And I do feel like there's also a message too to learn that with this climate that things do ebb and flow, that not everything will be good all the time and not everything will be bad all the time as well. And that's kind of the beauty of change, is that we don't have to be stuck in a situation or stuck in a certain aspect of our life forever, that you are changing, you are growing, that it is going to get better. And to it's also a lesson as well too, to really appreciate the good times as well too, because sometimes the good can fade, and sometimes we go through things that are challenging or we don't consider to be good, even though they may be good for us in certain ways. But yeah, so I do feel like this is also to take a look at yourself and at the community that maybe you are surrounded with. What have you been influenced by? What are you influencing? And to just be your most authentic self at this time, because this is really what's going to get you exactly where you need to go. And like I said before, it's coming up again, that is the most important, I feel, message for you, to be your most authentic self, to do what it is that you feel you want to do and not what other people say or have told you, and also with, that's crazy because I was just talking about this with someone else like the other day about 11th house placements, and how sometimes people with 11th house placements, obviously depends on the placements, but like planets or certain planets and things like that, they can actually end up having a lot of influence on whether that's a society or a collective group of people, whatever the case is. And with that, it does come responsibility, because sometimes we're all human and sometimes we okay, so there's a message coming with that as well too. I was going to say sometimes we're human and we make mistakes, but I feel as though you allowing yourself to be human and allowing yourself to make mistakes or showing a side that isn't perfect as well is very important for you in this journey too, because that kind of shows the realness of us. Because a lot of the time, sometimes these influencers can be known for being a little bit processed, like too put together, like they have everything going and perfect. And sometimes it's very refreshing to see people's imperfections, or it's very relatable as well to see people going through certain things or people expressing themselves in their struggle, and it makes a lot of people feel as though they're not alone. And I think this is something that is tied in with your path as well too, to maybe even be sharing some of the experiences that you've had, also obviously with your own consent, because the judge coming here in the middle is telling me again, this is all about your judgment, trusting what you think as well. You're going to be the judge of your own life, just like you're going to be the creator of your own life. But I do feel like, there's this energy here of like this realness that is really beautiful. But let's go ahead and see what the tarot has to say. Oh my gosh, couldn't wait to come out. about these cards as well. So with the 11th house, we have the sun. Okay, so some of you could literally have the sun, your sun in the 11th house, but you don't have to. That's just, come on, I had to say it. But yeah, this is about you shining, because I'm hearing Leo energy as well too. So this is about you coming out and having a voice, having a presence, and being seen. I feel like this is being seen by a lot of people, just again because we were talking about how the 11th house can rule the collective, but also this is about you having a lot of influence. You could be the type that actually does have a lot of influence on your friend groups and the surroundings that you have, just by your energy as well too, because this is a very beautiful bright star. You know, it's the sun, and it shines, and it doesn't really ask for permission to shine. It just comes out and it does what it does, and no one gets mad at it. No one, you know, I mean, some people do when it's really hot. I mean, honestly, I think it's been like 100 and something lately where I'm at, and I'm not mad at the sun, but the sun could kind of just cool it a little bit, but I know it's not going to happen. So again, the point proven, the sun just does what it's going to do. And I think this is kind of like that energy that you're just going to do what you're going to do, whatever it is that you feel, you know, you're doing, and you're shining. And I think you're inspiring a lot of people as well too. And I think that there's a need for you to definitely be seen. So if you kind of have been in some sort of hermit mode lately, I think that is going to be ending for you. But yeah, you could be the type that has a lot of influence over your friend groups or over your community. And if you don't feel like that, I think maybe this could, because I heard when I was talking, another message that came through is that you do have this kind of beautiful, but also yet a little bit frustrating humbleness to you, that I think you don't even see like the effect that you have on people, or you don't understand like what it is that you truly do, which is obviously something very beautiful. And it's always good to be humble, like it's always good to stay humble, but you know, again, like with this Judge, there's always a balance for everything as well too. So it's really interesting if you talk about, you know, being humble, like it's pretty much between a balance between of being way too full of yourself, way too self-confident, or on the other end of the spectrum, it's like super insecure, you know. And I think that there's a need to be, again, right in the middle, like, or the balance, or maybe a little more confident. Of course, more confident the better. I'm not gonna say don't be confident, but you kind of get what I'm saying. There's like, it's like an arrogance or like an ego, a super egotistical way, and then there's like, you know, the opposite end of the spectrum, and like you kind of being right in the middle is perfect, and like right where you need to be, which is like, you're like, I'm confident, I know what I can do, but also humble enough to know that, you know, you're not better than anyone else. And I think that's something super beautiful and super refreshing as well. So let's go ahead. Oh, look at, oh my gosh, I did not even see that. I'm probably waving this around and you guys are seeing that as well too, but we have Justice as well, as we were just talking about balance. Okay, so now we have multiple balances, especially we have Judge and we have Justice, which is the same kind of vibe as well too. So this is telling me that I feel you weighing out your decisions and weighing out what you feel is right and what you feel is wrong, especially coming from an authentic point, is very important, again, and very influential here for whatever that is. Maybe a lot of people trust your judgment and trust your opinions. And with that being said, you know, you kind of have this responsibility to do what you feel is right for you and for the collective as well too. So this could be an energy of like, how can I help the collective today and also help myself? Like that could be something that you wake up and ask. Especially if you're doing something where you're creating something and you're like, okay, well, how can this benefit not only me, but other people? And I think this is like that's a very beautiful service energy to have. And I think, you know, this could also indicate karmic as well. Like this could be something that is definitely along your karmic path. I think I got that message earlier too. I was like, this is something that's definitely along your path. But yeah, for the most part, being in a very rightful mind and not letting I guess maybe like certain things get the best of you when it comes to your judgment for whatever reason. It's kind of interesting because I'm like, I'm not seeing something specific. I'm just seeing like someone that has a lot of power. And it's like you need to be aware of where you're distributing that power, where you're feeding it, and also what you're doing with it as well too. Interesting. Okay, so why is the transits here? What can we, oops. We have the Queen of Swords. Navigating your way, seeing truth for what it is. Also, like, you know, that kind of staying humble and staying chill is I think, important, you know, in other aspects as well, too. So basically, like, what I mean is, like, I'm like, what am I trying to say? Because that, give me a second. I'll find it. Where'd it go? Oh, okay. So seeing the truth in what it is that you're here to do, what it is that you're doing, regardless of what's happening around you. So with the transits, you know, how we were talking about going up and down, things kind of, you know, being really up and then also can be down and things like that. But sticking to your truth and seeing through all of that, like, BS, you know, and regardless of, like, what I just said, I guess that kind of nailed it. Like, what's happening around you, you know, trusting in your choices and trusting in your decisions as well. Because the Queen of Swords is definitely about making the decisions. And sometimes the Queen of Swords has to make hard decisions. So if you feel like, you know, you are going to be confronted with a choice that is not the easiest, you know, the Queen of Swords is that energy that is going to help you to see through the illusions of your emotions, or see through the illusions of fear, or whatever it is that you kind of need to cut through, and to make the best choice. Because I love how it's the Queen of Swords, because the King of Swords is good, is definitely really good for that too. He's like a master of that. But the Queen of Swords is someone that is still still has compassion, because all of the queens are known for having some, even though the Queen of Swords is like the one that has the least amount of compassion, but that's because she has to. It's still, the Queen of Swords is still known for having a beautiful understanding of both sides, which is, again, eerily similar to that Judge card of, like, understanding both sides of situations. Maybe this is something for you as well, that you have just this beautiful, unique perspective that not many people have, and so you're able to see all sides of all things, like, and to make the best choice and decision for other people. Like, this is giving very much like it could be obviously influencer, but it could be like counselor, you could be like spiritual mentor, you know. Oh, I got confirmation for some of you for some sort of like spiritual mentor for sure. But whatever it is, it's someone that your advice is upheld to a very high standard, and it's very neutral as well. But it's neutral in a way that you can see things for what they are, and you can help people make the best choices. And if this isn't even other people, this could just be yourself as well too. But we have a lot of influence. We have a lot of energy of influencing others. Okay. So why is this Judge card here? We have the Page of Cups. That's interesting. Page of Cups kind of landing on the 11th house too. Okay, it's kind of landing on the sun. Or it did land on the sun is what I meant to say. I kind of want to get one more before I talk about it. Oh my gosh, we have the Magician at the bottom. Okay, let's get one more. So can we clarify this Page of Cups here, please? I feel like I feel like I know what it is, but I kind of want to get some more information before I just... What is this Page of Cups in relation to the Judge card? We have the Nine of Wands. Okay, that's interesting, because that's what I was kind of thinking as well too. Okay, so I feel like this is pulling through. This is pushing yourself to go further than what your emotions or maybe like your past experiences have allowed. And what I mean by that is this Page of Cups was giving me very much inner child. This could be something that is very much healing for that. But sometimes, these inner child emotions that come up can be the same emotions that that we feel are restricting us and holding us back. You know, those learned behaviors or those learned things. And this is kind of like for you to exceed those limitations that maybe you have been either consciously or subconsciously trying to release at this time as well too, to cultivate or manifest whatever this is. Since we did have the Magician, I'm just going to be more on the manifestation, but if it's resonating, then just put it to wherever it needs to go. Bottom of the deck, we have the 10 of Cups. Okay. And this is also about you pushing through any obstacles or challenges at this time that may not be the most pleasant, because on the other side of this is where that pleasantness is going to be. Not like it's with this climate as well too. It makes perfect sense. Not everything is going to be daisies and sunshine, but also I feel like this Page of Cups is almost like an energy too of holding out hope for that change, because sometimes the Page of Cups can be a messenger as well, especially in the Rider-Waite Tarot. It is a fish kind of coming out. It's like surprisingly coming out of this cup. So, you know, you may be surprised at some point, or some things may take you even off guard. But I feel like with this 9 of Wands, it's like pushing through, pulling through. You're almost there. Like, it's the 9 of Wands is the energy of like resilience. Like, you are going to overcome this. You are going to make this happen. Whatever, you know, you're coming out on the other side, which I feel like is beautiful with that 10 of Cups, because usually it's like that rainbow after the storm, or after you've weathered and you've endured all the stuff that you have pinned. So you put in your time, energy, you know, all of this. It is, you are going to reap the benefits as well. And then look, underneath that, we have the Devil and we have the Hanged Man. And then we have Justice. The same cards we were talking about. All of these energies we were just talking about. Things that could be restricting you, feeling restricted and holding back, or maybe feeling stuck, like you can't move. These things are, first of all, they're coming back into balance, but you are going to overcome this. The 9 of Wands wouldn't come out if you weren't going to overcome this, because this is saying that your strength is ridiculous, and so is your resilience. Okay. I was seeing if there was like, is there any more messages about that? No. So now let's see. All in the Golden Afternoon. So why is All in the Golden Afternoon card here, Spirit? Can we clarify that? We have the 6 of Pentacles. Giving and receiving. What you put out is definitely going to come back to you. This is about you maybe also feeling a little bit like you need to be a little bit extra generous right now with this, or whatever this is. And I feel like that's fine. Of course, obviously don't burn out, but whatever you feel like you're putting into this, you just remember that you are going to get it back. It is the 6 of Pentacles to me is the card of the universal flow. It is, you know, you putting, giving, and then also receiving. Sometimes it comes back in other ways though, so maybe to also let go of certain expectations of what it is you're going to be receiving, because sometimes we put something out into the universe, like we put love into the universe through a relationship that didn't work out. We get it back through self-love, or we get it back through another person, you know, or another source altogether. So this is about you. And I feel like this is also about inequality as well too, since we do have so many cards indicating balance here, like with the balancing scales here as well too. This is all about equality, and also feeding your creative side and feeding that you know, that inner child, that playfulness, just as much as everything else. And maybe even like how we were talking about before, starving out the fears, or starving out that restrictive things that are making you feel restrictive, and just kind of freeing yourself. But I do feel like for most of you, this is about you giving and knowing that it's going to come back to you. That sometimes when we do things, especially when we're kind of starting out or whatever the case is, sometimes it may feel like we're doing like charity, and that's okay too, because that's a beautiful energy to be in as well too, to selflessly give. And it just so happens that you will get it back regardless. Okay, so now the last card. Let's go ahead and see, why is the Influencer here, Spirit? We have the Tower. Interesting. We have the 4 of Swords at the bottom now. a lot of these cards are coming back and landing on this. We have the Knight of Swords. Okay, so the Tower is definitely an indicator of old constructs falling away. This could be, okay, there's a couple things here. This could be on a bigger scale. So if for some reason you are trying to be some sort of influencer, or even if you're not trying to be some influencer, but you're kind of maybe pursuing something or doing something that could have a, or that could be seen by a lot of people or heard by a lot of people, I feel like this is, a good thing. I think it's going to create change. I think it's different. I think it's something that most people aren't used to. And I think that's exactly what it's supposed to be, you know? And also the other message with this is like any kind of things inside you that may have been picked up from other people, influenced from other people, heard from other people, I feel like are starting to break away, or are breaking away, to release them and to, you know, embrace this change as it's coming. Because again, this is all about you embracing your most authentic self. And I think this is about you with this Tower as well. I feel like this is about you reconstructing what it is you have been, or who it is you have been, into the person that you want to be, the person that you really want to be the most. And I think that's really beautiful too. Okay, and then we have the Knight of Swords. Okay, so the Knight of Swords is also a cunning energy, I guess you would say. It's an energy of like saying what it is that you feel and not being scared of being judged, I guess, as well too. And this is something that maybe these are those constructs as well that are coming through to be broken down with this Tower here. And you definitely have a purpose. This is a beautiful, great, grand, on the grand scheme of things, purpose here. So don't be afraid to, you know, say what it is that you truly feel, because with this Judge here as well too, as long as it's out of love, you're gonna be okay. You know, as long as it's through the lens of love, and as long as you're doing things in you know, in an aspect that is with compassion and fairness, it's okay. If it comes in a way that is the opposite of that, then I think this Tower is going to come and shake it all down anyways. You know, it's not going to last if it's not something that's 100% authentic and 100% out of your heart, I guess you would say. Okay, and then the last message we have is the Four of Swords. What do we have under that? We have the Knight of Wands. Four of Swords is, I think, is coming through to say that, you know, even with all of these changes and these climates, it's okay to trust and to really rest your mind, not to worry too much about what it is, because the Knight of Wands at the bottom of the deck is saying that things are kind of happening regardless, that, you know, the energy is moving regardless. So to rest your mind, not worry too much. I feel like make sure you're getting good rest with this. Make sure that you are meditating if that's something that you do. Make sure that you are when it comes to making important decisions, just make sure you're in a calm state as well too, and you're not letting other because I'm seeing the image again in the original Four of Swords, or not the original, but the Rider-Waite Four of Swords, where the person is resting and the swords, you know how like in the Nine of Swords, the daggers are like always facing them, like, and it's like they're kind of coming at them. The Four of Swords is the exact opposite of that, where the person is resting and the swords that are the thoughts in the, you know, that are representation of the thoughts are rested. They're like put up, are mounted. And so this is again about you clearing your mind, letting those thoughts kind of, or those doubts or those fears, whatever it is, kind of rest. And yeah, I think, and just so you can, whether that's just to preserve your energy, or, you know, just so you don't get influenced by negative thoughts and fears and things as well. Like, that's something that happens all the time. Sometimes our minds can be our own worst enemy. So when you are feeling in that energy, come back to yourself here, come back to that Four of Swords. Okay, so let's get some advice real quick for you. We had the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck too, so we do have a lot of faded energy as I pull that up. The Wheel of Fortune is definitely a climate type or transit type of energy here. where some things may seem out of our control, but we can still control how we react to them or how we perceive them. But sometimes we just gotta let stuff happen the way it's supposed to happen. Okay, so what advice do we have here, please, for pile 1? Some quick advice here for you. We have the 7 of Cups. Oh, look at the bottom of the deck. We have the Star, which is I am inspired and positive about the future. This is beautiful energy for you. Again, this future energy, I feel, or near future energy is going to be very beautiful here for you. So we have the 7 of Cups. We have Judgment again. Oh my gosh, guys, we had so much cards of a judge and judgment and stuff, especially coming with the 7 of Cups. This is about you seeing through illusions, trusting your judgment. Also, maybe some of the things that you imagine your life to be, that's your judgment, or that's you coming through and saying, like, let's go for it. We can do this. We can do that. Like, if you know, have fantasies about how you feel like your life could be, or situations and things like that, there could be some truth in that as well too. But also with this Judgment, it says, I look back on myself with compassion. Okay, so I feel like the amount that you're growing and the amount of growth that you've had and where you're going, you know, to never shame your past self, because you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't have gotten where you needed to go if it wasn't for that version of yourself. So to really send love to that version of yourself, because whatever you were doing or whatever you did was exactly what you knew, or it was all you could basically do with the tools that you had at that time. It may be sometimes difficult for us to look back and think like, well, if I only knew what I knew what I know now, but you didn't know what you know now, and so you can't blame yourself. And it's important for you to release the past and release that. You know, you can take the lessons and you can take all of the things that you've learned, but you don't have to take the burdens. You don't have to take the pain and all of those things along with you as well too. So to free yourself from that is a specific message, I feel like, for some people. And also with the 7 of Cups here, it says, I trust myself to see the truth. Yeah, you are the judge of your own life. You can make the choices that you need to make, even if they seem out there, even if no one around you is making the same choices as you, or has ever done what you want to do before. You know, you are still allowed, and give yourself the permission to do that, or to do what it is that you feel necessary, and to not let your own mind, how we were kind of just talking about, cloud your judgment as well. So let's see what we have here too. Oh my gosh, we have the Tower again, and we have the Hermit, which is, I follow my own path, I surrender and know how to move forward. Yeah, there's intense change happening within you and around you. Excuse me. And releasing, apparently, because I'm burping. Excuse me. But, excuse me, that was kind of rude, huh? Oh well. You know, this is about you, I feel like, with this Hermit, following your own intuition, following your own guidance, that on your own path, maybe even getting away from the community as well too, since we do have the 11th house, kind of separating yourself from that and knowing that you are your own person, and remembering that, like we said before, you do have a lot of influence on people as well too. So it's best for you to be in your own energy, your own authentic energy. Anything else is leaving, whether you want it to or not. This Tower kind of happens. It's like this Tower is burning down everyone and anything that isn't, you know, pile 1's authentic self. Get the heck out of here right now. You know, it's going away. So, and I mean, and so to trust that the things that are leaving or have left your life are meant to leave your life at this time too. So, yeah. Surrender, and just knowing that the future is bright for you, the brightest star that we are able to see, which is the sun, like from our perspective. Or maybe that would be Sirius. Anyways, it's bright. The sun's brighter to us because it's closer. You get what I'm saying. And oh my gosh, look at, and making those empowered choices to get there. Underneath that, we have the King of Wands. Yeah, this is all about you being the leader of your own life, not being led. You are the leader, and we could see that throughout this whole reading, that you are definitely have very strong leader qualities, and that's how you start with, by leading your way through your own life. You know, creating your own life is the first way to start. So yeah, I really hoped this reading helped. Thank you so much if you stayed till the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss another reading, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye! Hi Pile 2, and welcome to your reading if you chose the Obsidian, or if you chose the Lunasomnia Tarot, then this is your message or messages. So I'm going to ask Spirit to please tune me into my Pile 2's energy, and please tune me into anything that they may need to hear right now at this time that is the most important and is going to offer them the most clarity and guidance and love at this time as well too. Sure, we'll throw in some love in there. You can always use some love. So we're going to be using this tarot deck to clarify these cards. So first I want to see the cards for the overall message or messages that you may need to hear right now. So the first card we have for you is the number 11. We have changed in the night. You have changed quickly. The next card we have for you is the Gardener. I don't know how I'm going to set these, so forgive me if I'm like rearranging. The next card we have is the 10th house with authority. Yeah, we're going to put that here. Okay. The next card we have is the number 33 with the South node in the past, or past is the card. And then we have Rebel. Interesting. Okay. So the first thing I want to say is that you are in the process of a big transformation. I feel as though you are definitely changing, like this card says, changing quite quickly, and also you are in the process of creating almost a new reality or a new quote-unquote life for yourself. And I think there's just a few things here that you're being asked to reevaluate and to re-question, or maybe there was some people or situations that were coming up for you recently from the past, and I feel as though these were almost like signals for what you need to still kind of address here. And I don't want to be like, you need to do this, because I do feel like you are on the right track, that you are doing everything that you basically need. It's just, I feel like there's just a couple things that may come from like your subconscious. And what I mean by that too is this South Node card from the past can definitely signify some past karmic ties, whether this is past lives, past relationships, or just any kind of relationship at all. And I do feel like you're being asked to really question certain triggers that you may have, or certain aspects that you may have outgrown, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Basically, I feel like there's basically a big release right now going on for anything that is potentially destructive for this new life that you are creating. And I think with the Rebel here, this is all about you rebelling against old beliefs and rebelling against old ways of doing things. Even if the people around you seem to be kind of stuck in the same patterns, doing the same things, I think this is a sign as well that you are outgrowing those situations and those people at the same time. And I do feel like there is a lot of healing, and may even have been a little bit of emotional triggering with you recently. And I think it's important for you to really nurture yourself with this Gardener, you know, to take care of yourself and water all the aspects that you need to. And I think that with the Gardener, it means that as well, that, you know, you're being guided to water the parts of yourself that you want to flourish, and maybe not feed the other parts, even though there needs to be, I don't want to say that there needs to be a release or anything like that, because I think that we should accept all parts of ourselves, regardless, the good and the bad and the ugly. But I think with this pile, it's like you're creating a life that you can't take some of these old things with you, these old habits, these old triggers. And now I think you're kind of being challenged a bit by needing to release them. And change is never easy, whether this is internal change or outer change. You know, this is definitely changes, and changes is never easy. And sometimes it does take some effort, and sometimes the universe can bring situations that we thought that we were over, or situations that even in new faces, shapes or forms, like, you know, like your ex in a new body, whatever the case is, the universe can bring us these situations in order for us to see them, to reevaluate them, to release them, whatever it is that we need to do with this. Because with the 10th house being authority here, this is all about you taking back control of yourself and not letting other people control you, not letting other people get the best of you. And this is, again, that creation for that new life of yours. And I think, again, this is just meaning that old habits die hard, is what I'm hearing. Like, old habits can die hard. And it's really important for you to be kind to yourself in these aspects of change. And also, it's really important for you to remember that you don't have to revisit the same old wounds and the same old things, the same old triggers with the same patterns. I feel like this is a time for you to change it up, like change how you're doing things, change how you go about things. Actually, I kind of want to read this one. Give me a second. Okay. So in one of the descriptions, it actually does say it does talk about responding. So it says, learn new ways to respond, new skills that help with old trauma, or help when old trauma is triggered, or old cravings sing their siren song. Okay, that is so perfect and such way better worded than what I was saying, but it kind of on the same note. Old temptation is definitely knocking at your door when it comes to the habits, or maybe the way you go about things, or maybe other relationships and past relationships and things like that. And I feel like you're being guided to kind of muster up this strength here to really pull through and to continue on with this beautiful new life that you are creating for yourself. And with that being said, I think this changed in the night, you have changed quickly, means that you may have outgrown a lot of the people and places and things around you. And so unfortunately, that means that, you know, you may have to kind of separate yourself from certain people, places, and things. Or even if you're not able to separate yourself, it's at least holding the awareness that you don't have to be a certain way or do certain things anymore, that you have the power and you have the control to create anything, or to create this change that you are wanting to. Now, I also want to I feel guided to remind you as well that it is important for us to also hold the awareness within ourselves that when we do create change, or we do want to create change, or we want to, whether it's change our outer, change our inner, to hold the awareness and the knowledge that our minds and our subconscious is going to want to stay with what we know. It's going to want to pull you back into the old. It's going to want you to repeat the same patterns, because that's what's comfortable for it. So with that perspective, I feel like you can kind of take your mind off that self-judgment a bit when you kind of do, maybe like whether it's like relapse and into old patterns, old behaviors and things, to be kind with yourself and to know that you still are trying. It's it's just a part of the journey, and it's something that your mind is naturally going to do. So that self-shame and that self-judgment is not needed, and I think that's also with this gardener as well too, to really nurture yourself and to take care of yourself, especially because I feel like this is a pile that is going through and is going to come out on the other side completely different. Like I said before, like with a completely different life, almost seemingly. It's very deep transformative energy here that is tied to, I feel like, karmic ties and in your past as well. Like this is seemingly very karmic for you, since it is coming through as a south node as well. And I feel like, you're being guided to take the path towards change, which may be for some of you it may be going against the grain of everything that you've ever known, or everything that the people around you have known. So maybe this could leave you in an energy of being a little bit misunderstood as well, which does make sense. We do have the rebel here as well too, kind of very much going against the grain. So this could be family patterns as well, or just people, or just you may just be different than the people around you, but different in such a good way, different in a way that is helping you grow and evolve, where other people may still stay the same due to lack of awareness, or due to fear, or not feeling like they're able to. I feel like this is a situation where you overcome and maybe even inspire as well too. But yeah, it's kind of like breaking that old spell. I feel like this is also talking about, let's see, what else does this say, since I have this right here. Okay, so it says an old love or familiar enemy may return, or just the patterns in it, you know, could remind you of an earlier difficult chapter. That's kind of something that we were talking about as well too. And it says if something triggers, or someone triggers your south node, you may feel like you owe them, or they owe you. That seems very karmic ties as well too. And while that may be true, this accounting won't help now. Cleanly deal with what is on the table and stay in the present moment. Ooh, yeah, this is all about pulling away from the past as well too. Especially if in your past, like your past connections, past relationships, I was going to say past life, but I meant like in this life, isn't exactly where you wanted it to be or what you wanted it to be. I think the biggest creator, I feel like I'm having so much trouble getting these words out right now for you as well too. So I don't know if that has anything to do with the energy of this reading, or if that, I think it does have some energy to do with this reading, because it feels like very spotty energy, like something's kind of missing, like there's pieces missing here. Anyways, now I forgot what I was saying, but basically, yeah, I don't remember what I was saying now. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Main message before we get to the tarot, to get even deeper and see what this is basically like with this rebel here. It's like, yeah, all of the old systems and all of the old things that you have, whether learned from childhood, being brought up, or from relationships recently, all of that is definitely changing. And this is all for your greater good. This is for you to create the life that you've always wanted to live, or that you feel that you deserve. And I think that's beautiful. Okay, so let's go ahead and clarify now. So why is this rebel card here? What can we say? Anything else about this rebel card, please, Spirit? Ooh, we have the Two of Wands in reverse. All right. Let's get one more. Can we clarify this rebel card here, Spirit? We have the Knight of Swords. Bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Wands. Yeah, this is like challenging yourself and challenging the people around you. I feel like this has a lot to do with communication as well too. And I feel like this has a lot to do with you almost realizing, I think that you deserve better with this Two of Wands in reverse, if I could be quite honest. I feel like it's like the future, maybe the way things are going isn't the way that you wanted them to go. And so now you've realized that you have, you need to create something better. And I think this is all about taking charge and action towards your future. And I do believe that is what this pile is doing. I think a lot of this is definitely confirmation as well too, but it's like, if you don't like the way things are going, you have the power to change. And I think this Knight of Swords is saying now is the time to create that change. And with the Five of Wands at the bottom of the deck, to kind of persevere through any challenges as well, or any other opinions that may be trying to hold you back. I feel like it's important to realize what other people around you are saying, and how they're feeling about you and about things like that as well too, because there's a need to look at your relationships with truth, maybe like the communication, or who's good for you, who's not good for you. I'm sure it's different for everybody, but for the most part, it's like a lot of this is like the way you communicate, and it can also be the way you communicate with yourself as well too. But anything that is not serving a purpose, that is not serving your inner needs, or serving this potentially new life or these changes that you want to create, has to go. It's almost as if there's like people around you that could be like potentially toxic or potentially destroying your future, destroying your dreams. They need to go as well too. So, and this could be something that maybe choices for some of you that you've already made as well too, and that's good. And this is just confirmation that you have made the right decisions as well. So let's see what this South Node card is here for. Why is this South Node card here? Ooh, we have the Page of Wands. That's an interesting message. The Page of Wands. I was gonna say. So I feel like a lot of this inspiration has come from the experiences that you've had to go through in your past. And with that being said, it's almost as if that this has lit some sort of flame within you. You could have gone through situations in your past too that have maybe even woken you up spiritually as well. And this is all about you really learning. And I feel like when these past situations come up, you're really being guided to look at your triggers or things that may be uncomfortable with you with a more curiosity type of energy, instead of maybe trying to shove it back down. Like, you're really being asked to look at this, follow that, like kind of follow that, like why is that there, where did this come from, where is this going? Really dive deep here into these reactions that you may find unpleasant or may not like. I think they're messengers, and they're trying to tell you something, and they're trying to show you some sort of awareness here. And even if it's just to feel them, just to let them process and feel through, because I know sometimes when we go through certain traumatic things in our past, they come up as like almost intrusive thoughts, or they come up as memories. And to me personally, I believe that that's kind of like our body kind of storing, and our mind kind of storing these traumas, because we're not able to deal with it right then. So they kind of come up at like the worst, seemingly worst times, and it's time for you to allow them to process. And it is uncomfortable, and you will want to resist at first, but I can promise you though that the more you allow them to flow, when they do come up again, it's so much easier, and it's better, like way more comfortable. And then it goes to the point where they don't come out anymore at all. And even if they do come out, it's like, or come up, it's like you don't even care. And I think that in turn has a lot more effect than just time alone, just allowing time to heal things. Sometimes our minds and our bodies take the initiative, as in storing it as pain, or as an intrusive thought, or as an uncomfortable memory, or as a trigger. These are all here to tell you, they're there for a reason. They're like, hey, I'm here, I can't go anywhere. Stuck energy is one of the worst things for your health as well too. So it's time to release these things, allow these things to flow, or allow them to just get out of there. You don't need them anymore, just like you don't need these past behaviors and past patterns anymore, and maybe even past people, who knows. All right, so why is the Changed in the Night card here? We have the Three of Swords. That's interesting too. Okay, I feel like, yeah, a lot of the experiences that you have been through, or maybe recently have been through, have caused a lot of change. And I think this is that energy that I was feeling. I don't know if I said this in the beginning, or maybe if I said this in another pile or another reading, I can't remember. But that a lot of these things may have turned out to be blessings in disguise, or will turn out to be blessings in disguise. Now I know that is very hard and almost seemingly insensitive at times to say, so I do apologize that it can sound insensitive to be like, you know, oh, this is a blessing in disguise. Like, I would never want to tell somebody that that's actually going through something. Like, but I do think that this is coming up because these experiences have changed you for the better. They have shown you what it is that you deserve, what it is that you allow, and what it is that you want as well. And these are all, and even if you want to look at it as some sort of silver lining, it doesn't have to be like this was a positive, but there is always some sort of silver lining here to some sort of heartache. And I think that with this change in the night and the Three of Swords as well too, that you have changed and you are changing and you are growing, and the Three of Swords is also coming through as a blockage as well too. So to really take a look at what is blocking you, what is holding you back. Don't let any pain from the past hold you back into your future, because you're not that person. And that's interesting too, because one of my favorite movies of all time, like from childhood, was Alice in Wonderland. I was obsessed with it. But and one of the things that she says to the Cheshire Cat, I haven't seen it in a long time now, so don't call me. One of the things she says in there, she was like, I can't go back to yesterday because I'm not the same person I was then. And I think this is very fitting for this reading. Actually, I think that's like the perfect example, the perfect quote. You definitely aren't the same person you were before. And I think that sometimes we still view ourselves through this kind of Three of Swords perspective, when you are so much more and you have overcome so much. And so, like I said, even if you do kind of go back to past patterns and past behaviors, you're not going to be able to stay there for long. I can assure you that. I feel like almost maybe a tower moment would come in and kind of wipe things away. So I don't think you have to worry about so much about this change happening, or creating this change, even though that is a huge part of it. A huge part of it actually is that you are creating this change, but also this change has been being created within you, I think, longer than you realize as well too. And it's something that isn't just going to go away. It's something that you can't just ignore. These are changes that are meant for you and meant for you to experience a better life as well too. So even if right now you're feeling blocked by certain challenges or certain aspects, whatever this Three of Swords is coming through as a blockage for you, just know that you are going to overcome it. It is going to be removed. And not to worry too much about that part. Just kind of go with surrendering, I think is needed here. And what I mean by surrendering is you're not resisting any other circumstances. You're not trying to change what has happened, what will happen. You're kind of just accepting what it is at this time, and I think that's going to be tremendously helpful. But let's go ahead and move on. Why is the Gardener card here? What can we say about this Gardener card, please, Spirit? Okay, so we have the Page of Pentacles. We have two pages out as well too. So this is about growth. Okay, so yeah, this is what we talked about with the Gardener card. Basically, this is about you nurturing the parts, watering the aspects that you want to see develop. Your skill development, your life development, your relationships development, you know, what it is that you need to do, whether that's communication, healing, anything, you know, you to nurture the parts of you that you're trying to expand, that you are trying to create, even you know, if this is like a job or creative pursuit or whatever, you know, to nurture the parts that are going to get you there, and to let go of the parts that are holding you back from there as well too. Okay, and let's talk about the 10th house. Why is the 10th house here? We have the Four of Wands. I love that. Coming back home to yourself. And then we have the Six of Swords, which is a beautiful energy. That's like the overall energy of this reading, is a beautiful transition, transitioning into a more peaceful state, transitioning into a better area of your life, I guess you would say, or era, you know, transitioning away from all of that stuff that was holding you back in the past. Transitioning from the past in general, it seems to be the kind of theme here. And with the 10th house, I feel as though isn't the 10th house, I could be wrong, but I feel like the 10th house is like the pinnacle, right, of our chart. Like the 4th house is, I forgot what it's called. It's like the IC. Oh yeah, and then the midheaven. And so this is like a destination to where you are going, as in the 4th house is like what it is you're comfortable with, or what it is, you know, like your past, your childhood and things like that. And this 10th house is like who you're becoming, where you're going. Now I know that it's different, it's kind of a little bit different in astrology, but I'm kind of just taking that into, and it's different houses as well too. Like I'm pretty sure people can have their midheaven in their 11th house and stuff like that too. But regardless, it's what I'm saying is that this is like who you're becoming, where you're going, the destination that the person that you want to be. Like, who is that person? And this is you coming home to yourself. This is, you know, a homecoming. This is you literally celebrating in celebration. This is like an achievement. This is, I did it, you know, and things like that. And so this 10th house is like, actually your 10th house could actually hold a lot of stuff if you do look into your own birth charts and things like that. Maybe that has some information as well too. And also the 10th house can be like careers as well too a lot of the time, or it's like our public image and things like that. But for the most part, what I was talking about earlier, I feel like this is more for you personally. It's not really about other people right now, it's about you. But yeah, this is like about who you're becoming. I love the imagery on this card too. This person, it's a hiker and they're going on this new adventure. And yeah, that there is mountains, there's challenges, there's obstacles, but it seems to be so worth it on the other side. And I think this is perfect and telling for this reading about where you're going. And Spirit is saying with the 4 of Wands that it is so worth it on the other side. You are going to reach that destination there, and it is something that is going to obviously be for celebration. And then the 6 of Swords at the bottom here is really, oh, like we have the King of Wands too, which is all about authority and leadership and leading your life in the direction that you want it to go, and taking charge of your own life and stuff like that as well too. But anyways, I want to talk about the 6 of Swords. The 6 of Swords here is saying that you definitely are in the transition. You're on the right path. Don't worry about maybe feeling like you're not 100% there yet, or at least when you are kind of transitioning, just know that things are coming together, and they will come together just as they're supposed to be. Sometimes when we make decisions or we get away from old thoughts, patterns, behaviors, people, you know, it seems like it's very hard, and there's a lot that wants to pull us back. And just know that once you get to a certain point in this transition, that peace of mind will come. Those things will come. Everything else that you've been, you know, wanting and waiting for will definitely come in time. It's all a part of the process, but just know that you are on the way. Okay, so with all of that being said, let's go ahead and get some quick advice here for you. And then I will send you on your merry little way file too. So thank you so much for staying here with me. I really appreciate you. So what advice do we have for pile 2, please? So we have Temperance. Oh, look it, we have Death. And we have the 4 of Wands again. The universe brings me all I need to feel blissful. We have the 4 of Wands again, which is such a beautiful energy. And then we have 11 as well too, which the 4 of Wands is always like 11 because there's usually like the wands that look like 11. So that could be, again, another mirroring number. This could be a divine counterpart of some sort that has really challenged you into this growth, or a divine counterpart that you are going to be coming across in your future, if that doesn't resonate for you as well too. Okay, so we have the Page of Cups, which we have the Page of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, and we have the Page of Cups. I think this is a beautiful, the fact that we have so many pages here is really saying that there's a new energy that's coming in. Yes, the Page of Pentacles is about growth and kind of developing what you already have, but it's still a very curious and a very new, lighthearted energy, like all of these pages. And so I think this is advice for you to kind of embrace this, maybe with maybe a lighter outlook as well too, of to see, like, instead of like, oh, this is where I'm going. It's like, you're like, I get to experience something new. This is a mystery for me. What is it? Withhold, you know, or hold, I guess I should say. And all of this stuff, kind of like this fun, lighthearted inner child energy, especially with this Page of Cups. I think it literally says, I'm as young as I choose to feel. And for some reason, right when I said that, I'm as young as I choose to feel, this is a message for you that it's never too late. So don't think that, you know, you have to go with some societal norm, that you have to have it all figured out by this certain age and everything like that. That is definitely not true. You're allowed to start over whenever you feel like it. It is your life. Like, some people find their life purpose in their 50s. Some people find, you know, love in their 50s and 40s, or whenever, you know, the age exactly doesn't matter, but it's not too late. It's different for every single person. And, yeah, age ain't nothing but a number. It's always about how you choose to feel. So we also, speaking of that, we have the Fool, which is, I am guided and protected on my life journey. Again, so much refreshing energy. Like I said, like a new start for a new life. This is all so beautiful for you. And this Fool card means, you know, it's okay to trust into the unknown. It's okay to take that next step and to trust that you are guided, and to allow life to unfold as it's supposed to kind of release a little bit of control. As we were just talking about with that King of Wands, you know, it's like you're taking back control of your life, but you're also releasing control at the same time, because control is an illusion. We can't control what other people do, what other people say. We can't control the weather. We can't control what happens around us. We can't control, you know, anything outside of ourselves. We cannot control. All we can control is how we react and how we respond. And with that, you know, comes a strong faith. A lot of people that do not have a sense of faith, or, you know, they are usually prone to anxiety or fear and things like that, which is 100% natural, because if you don't believe that there's another force guiding you and helping you, then yeah, that's so freaking scary. And it's, you know, and with that being said, remember that you are guided, that there is a higher power, and that you will be protected and you are safe along this journey, even though it seems scary at times. Okay. And then we have Temperance and we have Death. So we have 3 out of 4 major arcanas, which is telling me that this is a major event, a spiritual event. Again, like with that karmic ties, you know, unfolding for you. A lot of the time when we get, or when I do readings and there's so many major arcana cards, especially for the advice, this means that this is a karmic, something that you are karmically aligned to experience. Not in a negative way, but like, you know what you know what I mean. So we have Temperance, which I feel like is all about you kind of trying to relax yourself, because I felt really relaxed as I was going to say that message, trying to find that inner calm and that center, especially in times where you feel like you are being triggered and you are being challenged. Because if you have the power to stay calm in any situation, you are a very powerful person, and that goes without saying. But also, this is a need for with Temperance, for patience as well too. And then we have Death, which is like, yes, the transformative energy that we've been talking about this whole time. It says, I let go and I embrace new beginnings. So this whole message for you is all about releasing what was and being excited for what will be. I'm not here to tell you how to feel, but I can say that there is a beautiful excitement energy that is coming to you, that you know, that you can give yourself permission to embrace as well too. You don't have to feel bad all the time, but don't mask your feelings as well too. Like, obviously, I'm not saying that feeling bad isn't a part of the process or part of the journey, but also you can allow yourself to get excited and to reimagine what you want your life to be, because this is your time to create that life. This is your time to expand and to really experience the life that you've always wanted. And by letting go of the things that you don't want anymore, you're showing yourself, your higher self, the universe, spirit, your spirit guides, that you are ready for better. And that's so exciting. So yeah, I'm going to leave this reading here though. Thank you so much if you stayed till the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss another pick a card, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Hi Pile 3 and welcome to your reading. If you chose the Aura Coated Quartz Crystal, or if you chose the Mystic Mondays Tarot, then this is your reading. So today we are asking, what do you need to hear most right now? So what are the messages that have been trying to reach you? What do you need to hear? All of that stuff. I'm going to ask Spirit here to please tune me into my Pile 3's energy. And if you can please tune me in to what they need to hear right now, if we can give them the most guidance and clarity at this time, out of love, of course. So let's go ahead. So we're going to be using your tarot deck to clarify these oracles, but let's go ahead and get the oracles out to see what your message or messages are. So the first card we have for you is the Child Divine. The next card we have for you is Pluto with Rebirth, number 27. The next card we have is Pisces with Sensitize. Then we have Do Not Drink the Poison. And then we also have the Dead End Job. Interesting. All right, what messages do we have for Pile 3, Spirit? The first thing I want to talk about with this Child Divine is that you have such a beautiful soul, and you have, whether you know it or not, you have a very, very close, very strong relationship with Spirit. I'm sure a lot of you know this already, but even if you don't, it's not just because it's one of those things that's like, just because you're not aware of it doesn't mean it's not there. Like, you are very much loved and guided by Spirit. It's ridiculous. Now, I think one of the challenges though with this beautiful, pure, like kind-hearted Spirit that you do have is that you may feel like you're not able to overcome certain challenges. You may feel like you are very sensitive at times, and you may feel like sometimes the world is just a little too tough and a little too hard. For certain, you know, in certain aspects, of course. Now, I want to say that this is the exact opposite of what it may feel like being very sensitive and being a child of the divine and things like that. You know, you may be faced with a lot more obstacles than usual, than other people, or seemingly than ordinary people, but it's because that you have this crazy resilience within you. And I think that these sensitive emotions that you feel towards yourself and towards others is actually a superpower in disguise. It may feel like a gift and a curse at the same time, but I do feel like right now you're being guided to really dive into these emotions and really dive into how it is you feel and what it is around you that makes you feel these ways in order for you to perceive it correctly. Now, it's interesting because with Pluto and this Do Not Drink the Poison, I was hearing that song. Oh, it's literally called, I was like, what's it called? It's literally called Pluto by, what's her name? Megan Martinez? No. Or was that her name? Anyways, there's a song called Pluto by an artist, and it's really, I feel like you should listen to it. If anything, that would be the channeled song for this reading. It literally talks about Pluto being a transformative planet, and I think she literally says, like, Pluto, destroy me, kill me off slowly, I'll bathe in my ashes, I'll rise like the phoenix, show me the demons I'm hiding, and then I think she says, and show me who I am becoming. And this is really powerful, transformative energy that I feel like you are going through right now. But with this Do Not Drink the Poison, I feel like this is all about you stepping into your power and deciding what it is that you are going to allow and what you're not going to allow into your life. Drinking the poison would definitely be going back to things that don't suit you anymore, going back to past behaviors or past people that you know are not good for you anymore. And I think this is all about you allowing yourself to feel what it is that you need to feel. For example, and so you can overcome these. Like, for example, you know, maybe some of you are separated from a connection, or you just had to separate from someone or something, and your heart just feels like it is longing for that connection, or longing for that love, or longing for that illusion of separation to be, you know, to bridge that gap. Well, consciously knowing that that person or that place or that thing was not good for you, is drinking the poison, is going back to them just because your heart is feeling this, because you are feeling very strongly, you are feeling these strong emotions of yearning and longing and missing and sadness. It does not mean that you're not supposed to feel them. In fact, that's exactly what you should do, but that doesn't mean that you should go back to old ways and old patterns that you know aren't good for you because of that. I think there's like a quote that says something like along the lines of that. It's like, a hungry heart, it doesn't have the best discernment. That's definitely not the quote, but that's kind of like what it means. And that's so true. It's like if you're longing for something, it's almost as if like in relations to your body, like say you've been starving, or you're just so hungry, like you're just so hungry, and you know, you're the only, you know, things that you have available to eat are things that are not good for you. But if you were to unknowingly like wait a little bit, like say this is something, because this is kind of like how life works, you know, like we don't know for sure that things are coming, but better things are definitely coming, you know. That's why we have to trust. But if you were to just trust that, you know, if you were to wait like 30 more minutes around dinner time, you would have the most fulfilling, nutritious, delicious meal, and you wouldn't you know, have to snack on garbage. That's kind of the metaphor that I'm seeing here as well too, to kind of pull through this time that you're going through, whatever it is that you may be going through, and allow yourself to feel it fully, because that's what's going to help you transform. But don't mistake those feelings as an excuse to go back to old patterns and old ways that you know are not good for you. Especially with this dead end job here, I feel like this dead end job card is coming to tell you as a reminder that you are meant for so much more than what either you've been allowing or what you've been given. And I know you know it. I know you feel that deep within you, that you are meant for something so much better. And this dead-end job can seem enticing. You know, say it's like a job with, and this is again just an example. Put it to what resonates. But yeah, a dead-end job can, you know, you can get comfortable in a job like that. You can get comfortable, you know, just barely getting by and things like that. But also at the same time, if it's driving you crazy and you're not happy, and you know that you deserve more, and you know that there's more for you, you have to break those patterns. You have to break those chains and step out of that comfort zone, and you know, kind of leave that job or those people and those things behind, and set out to experience more. I feel like this is a very hopeful energy for this pile, though. I mean, at least that's what I'm feeling like for the future. It's very hopeful future energy. And I feel like there's such a beautiful light to this energy of this pile that I just want to protect it. And I think that's that divine love that you have and that connection to spirit. It's coming through here. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's clarify these cards with the tarot like we said. All right, first one we have coming out for do not, well, I don't know, it kind of landed on here. So I think I'm gonna, let's see. Ooh, so we have the Ace of Swords in reverse, and I think this is definitely for this Pisces sensitize right here. I feel as though this is kind of like what we were saying a bit. Okay, we have the Nine of Swords too. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to find a way to word this in the best way possible. Our emotions are there for reasons. Don't get me wrong. But I think it's about you not taking how you feel as truth all the time. So just because you miss something, or you found comfort in something, does not mean, and your emotions are telling you that, or you're sad about something, does not mean that it's still for you. It's just a part of the grieving process, and it is sad, and those feelings are valid. But I think, you know, to find why they're coming from, or where they're coming from, find clarity in that as well too. There's a lot of clarity in your emotions, and they may not be where you think that they're coming from. It doesn't mean to go pull away to go back to your ex, or it doesn't mean to run to the quickest solution. You know what I'm saying? I think that there's something here with how you've been feeling, or things that have been coming up for you that you need clarity on, and you're really being asked to dive deep into. And also, like I said before, because the Ace of Swords coming in reverse can be a lack of truth, or a lack of clarity. Just because you feel a type of way doesn't mean it's true. And another example for this as well too is that, especially because we have the Nine of Swords, is like a fear. This is just an example, but you know, just because maybe you have a fear of someone betraying you does not mean that that's true. That's a fear that's coming up. That doesn't mean it's your intuition. That doesn't mean that it's gonna happen. That's just what it is. It's showing you something within yourself that you are scared of that happening, probably because of a past wound where that has happened. You know what I'm saying? But that does not mean it's true. So I think that there's a space being needed for you to put between your emotions and your logic, and what you think it is, and how you're feeling, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's go with this don't drink the poison now. We have the Hermit. Oh yeah. Not trusting your inner guidance, or following your own path as well too. And I feel as though with this don't drink the poison, this is about you doing what's best for you with this Hermit, and following your own path, and like I just said, your own wisdom and your own guidance. Anything else beyond that, you know, I think is kind of just noise at this time. It may just be a distraction as well too. Don't go back to old habits, old ways, especially when I feel like this pile has come so far. And I'm not saying you're never going to go back to old things. And actually, this came up in another pile as well too. And I think it's important information as well too, to also give yourself grace and give yourself that space to know that when you are going through changes, that your mind is going to want to hold on to what it feels comfortable to, like your subconscious. It's so hard to kind of escape from that, especially at first. And so having that awareness there, and giving yourself that grace and compassion to know that you're still going to want old things, or you're still going to want to do old habits, you're still going to want to do things like that, just because that is how your mind literally works, I think is good to know, because it helps us understand ourselves more and understand the process more, without diving into self-shame or judgment, or being mean to ourselves, saying, why can't we just do this, or why do we have to go do this, or why are we the way that we are, you know what I'm saying, in a mean, judgmental way. So just know that, you know, it does take time, and I do feel like with this Hermit card as well coming here, I do feel like there's a need for you to release old energies, to kind of come into your own energy, and to not let anyone else or anything influence you in making your choices as well too. That could be something that's very important. But let's go ahead and move on. Let's get, why is this Child Divine card here? Can we clarify that as well? We have the Three of Pentacles. This is Spirit really wanting to collaborate with you. Also, your inner child wants to collaborate with you to create a new life that you are going to actually really enjoy, and that is going to be fun for you as well too. I feel like this is about you working with those energies, working with that sensitivity, and working with that beautiful special connection that you have with Spirit. This is all about you and Spirit really working together, coming and creating something beautiful. Just know that you have Spirit support, and whatever it is that you decide to do, or whatever it is that you want to do. But just also know that I feel like Spirit is, the message with that was a little bit tricky. It was like, just know that Spirit, you are the child of the divine, like you are Spirit's baby, but Spirit wants you to grow and wants you to develop as well too. So Spirit isn't going to just sit and baby you all the time. Sometimes our higher selves need to bring in some sort of wake up calls or some sort of lessons for us to get back on track. Or when you find yourself, like a perfect example of this is like when you find yourself like going throughout the day with a really negative thought process. And you know how they say, like, you know, when you're like your pants or something gets caught in the doorknob, or like your shirt, your t-shirt gets caught on something, or you know, like that, how they say like that always happens when you're already mad. Like it never happens like just normally, like it always happens like when you're like going through. And I feel like that's an example of like our higher selves like kind of like giving us a little knock and being like, hey, stop it. Like, you've been talking crap in your head all freaking day. We've been hearing you with this negative self-talk. You've been so angry and you know, and ungrateful or whatever, in a loving way too, because we're all angry and ungrateful at times. It's fine. But you know what I'm saying? And to a point where it starts to become like on autopilot. That's when we need like some sort of wake up call. So for some reason, this message is coming out as well too, that like, you know, you are so loved, but also sometimes tough love is the best thing for us as well too. And to know that you can overcome any challenges as well too is something that is important too, that you are not alone, even though you may be entering or be in a hermit phase for some of you, or you may just feel like you are alone at times. You know, this Three of Pentacles is to say that Spirit is always around you. Spirit is always working with you, and you are greatly appreciated. And the work that you do for yourself and for others, and by working on yourself is work for others as well, you know, in all its irony. But it's true. It shows that you really are appreciated and valued and supported. Okay. So let's see what this Pluto energy is. We have the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, that's like that lyrics where she's like, show me those demons I'm hiding. Like anything that you're holding on to, I think it's time for it to go. The Four of Pentacles can also be, we have the Magician too, like manifestations as well too. So this could be about bringing in some sort of security here as well into your life, about bringing in those manifestations, like out with the old, in with the new. This is like a rebirth type of energy here for you. And also personal power, which the Magician is definitely a card of personal power. So is Pluto. Pluto is definitely a card of you finding your personal power and stepping into it. So with this Four of Pentacles, it's like, you know, finding that security within yourself is very important. Knowing that you can build the foundations that you need to build, and also letting go of the things that you may have been holding on to. Sometimes Pluto does come in and it will make us release things that we were holding on to so freaking tight that we did not want to let go of at all. But it's for our greater good. Even though it doesn't feel like it at times, it definitely is for the greater good. Okay, so I want to say a little bit more about this transformation though with Pluto, about this rebirth as well. So I want to get one more card for that, and then we're going to move into the dead end job. So what is this transformation? Oh geez, we have the big boy Emperor energy coming out. This is about you taking up space in your own life, being that your own authority figure. Like, I feel like this is about, first of all, personal power, like we were just talking about, self-empowerment. But the Emperor sits in this throne and he rules his own self and his own kingdom. You know what I'm saying? And this is like about you standing strong in your power and standing strong in your truth, not letting anything or anyone come in and wreck it. I love that there's actually pyramids behind here too, because pyramids are, they, you know, are so strong and last so long because they actually have solid, firm foundations. And this is, I think we were just talking about foundations in this with this Four of Pentacles as well too, but this is big boss energy. Like, this is like, no one can tell me shit. And I love that for you. Also, this is about you making empowered choices, doing what's best for you. Overcoming a lot of obstacles as well too, and standing so strong. Wow. I love that for you. But basically, this is about you taking charge of your life again. Even though control is kind of a lot of time it's a false sense of control, but the Emperor has control over himself, for sure. The Emperor can control his reactions. The Emperor can even decide what it is that he will allow and not allow into his life. You know what I'm saying? And I think this is a great leader / role model type of energy that you are going to be stepping into. Basically, the message mainly is like, this is like an unshakable energy. Like, you're not going to be able to just be shooken up by, you know, any little thing or, you know, anyone who's sent to try to trigger you or whatever the case is. Like, it's a very, you're going to be in your own personal power. And standing strong in it is that, at that is what I meant to say. Oh my gosh, my nose is itching. What else is new? It happens all the time. Okay, let's go ahead and see this dead end job though. So why is this dead end job card here, Spirit? Oh, we have the Knight of Pentacles. And we have Temperance already kind of flipped over. Okay. Steady progress. Bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Cups. So even though things may not be progressing at the rate that you may want them to with this Knight of Pentacles, the Four of Cups is saying that there's things that are going on that you may not be seeing right now. As well as patience is needed, because I do feel like there is steady progress. Like, you are making steady progress in this. And with the Temperance card, you're just being asked, like I said, to have more patience and maybe to control your emotions when that doubt kind of creeps in, or when you think you're not where you need to be, you're getting where you need to be as well. The Knight of Pentacles is saying that, you know, slow movement is better than no movement. And even though you may feel some sort of Four of Cups energy, like you're like, ugh, this isn't going where I want it to go, I don't know, like, you know, just know that there are things that are happening that you are not seeing. Let's get one more card for that as well too, though. I like this Four of Cups as well too, because the person is focused on these three cups, and then up here, it's like up there, there's the cup. So this could be about manifestations as well too, or creating, you know, manifesting what it is that you want into this reality. It's still up here a bit, but it's coming. So just focus on what you need to focus on. Tell us more about this dead end job, please. We have the Six of Wands and the High Priestess. Ooh, you know it's gonna be good. Bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Pentacles, which is again another card for change as well. And also, I'm just drawn to, before I set it down, I'm drawn to the 8 on here, which is a very karmic number, and it's also the infinity sign, and it's also about what you put out, you will get back. I mean, I think this is all about the universal balance of things in the Two of Pentacles, because that is a card of balance. But just know that what you're putting out, you are going to be getting back. Okay? Even if it's in a different way, shape, or form. But because look, we have the Six of Wands and we have the High Priestess. This is about you trusting yourself, following your intuition, even if it's with blind faith at times, you know, and knowing that it's going to be sorry, my dog just like made the loudest noise. Okay, and knowing that it's going to be successful. This is a victory for you. This is overcoming obstacles. This is definitely you being successful. And it all comes from that inner knowing. Even if you have doubts and fears and things like that, you know, you're guided for a reason. You're doing what you need to do for a reason. Your intuition is always there guiding you. Like spirit. Okay. So let's go ahead and get some advice for you about anything else maybe you need to hear, or what advice do we have here for pile 3? We have the Knight of Swords, which is I choose my battles carefully. Interesting. Let's get one more and then we'll talk about it. We have the Two of Wands. I focus on what I want to make happen. And then we have the Five of Wands, which is I stand my ground and look for peace. Okay, this is good advice for you. Okay, so I feel like with this Knight of Swords, this is all about you feeding in to the energy of what you want to create. Maybe not what's right in front of you. If things aren't looking so good sometimes, like right in front of you, don't let that discourage you in any way, shape, or form. I feel like, you know, this is a very future oriented mind. You're already going in that direction, you know, and I feel like this is like the Two of Wands. This is like the future. The Knight of Swords is looking this way. So I feel like there's also a message here to not get distracted by old people, old things, old patterns as well, to still try to keep your focus optimistic and positive towards the future, regardless of all the triggers or the challenges, because the Five of Wands could be other people, a lot of other opinions, a lot of other things, and a lot of other people trying to distract you, or just kind of just causing some sort of frustration here, some sort of conflict. So when it comes to, you know, choosing your battles, I feel like, you know, choose wisely, choose the direction you want to go in. Don't fall back into that temptation of like arguing with people. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone. You don't have to prove a point to anyone. You know, this is your life and your life alone. And if someone is trying to bring out this Five of Wands, this, you know, energy within you, you know, it's time to focus on, I feel like, yourself, and to get away from that. And even if this is like not even a person, like if this is just like, you know, conflicts in your life, you know, choose what you want, focus on what you want to happen, not the obstacle itself, because you are meant to overcome these obstacles as well. Okay, I think that was it. So yeah, I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you so much if you stayed till the end. I really hope this helped in any way, shape, or form. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss another one. And I will see you guys at the next one. Bye.